telling women what we can or cannot do.
They say you can't be a beauty and a beast.
They say I'm too much of a diva to put up a fight.
They say I can't be fierce.
They think I'm sweet. They're gonna find out.
They say I'm too busy to be a world champion.
The best boxers on the planet. Championship fights. Non-stop action. Every single fight. Representing 14 countries. 14 reigning world champions, all ready to defend their titles and prove who is truly the most elite boxer on earth. MVPW on ESPN, the greatest female fighters the world has ever seen.
Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. What did you think about that? That's what Jake Paul is doing. That's what MVP is doing. That's what the ladies like Serrano, Baumgardner, Shadasia Green, and all the rest on that MVP roster are benefiting from. That's what exactly Claressa Shields is not benefiting from. I'm sure when she watched that little highlight, she said, "Man, please, this is bullshit." Probably caught the handyman virus. Don't underestimate the power of the handicap. Should make me upset, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that I supposedly had an opportunity to go over there to Jake Paul and MVP, and them guys is blowing up. I tell you what. Think what you want about Jake Paul. He may have said his shit about Puerto Rico, but he recanted that statement with the quickness, didn't he? Jake Paul was like, no problemo. But I tell you one thing. Him and his team got shit locked down. It's amazing what they're doing for these female fighters. Amazing what they're doing for them, man. The landscape of female boxing, man, the shit is shifting dramatically without Claressa Shields. And without Papoose, win records, and Dimitri Salita. And I'm not making that up. It's the truth. Leaving them in the dust. Dum. Another one bites the dust. And it didn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. But if you want to go the ghetto route, the ratchet route, the Zeus route, the pushing your good friend who's standing in like 4 or 5 inch heels, almost broke her ankle, and jumping her husband route, well then cool. You go that route, watch everybody blow up. Like your friend Sean, we got a lot of love for you over here. Boom, boom, blow a kiss at you, catch it on the cheek. Get your ass over there to MVP Promotions right now. You're 38. You still got some shelf life on you. Get on over there and quit playing around. Wasting your time out here with these cats ain't got no talent, no time for you, no respect for you. Disrespect you on social media. Get out of here. You need to get on over there to MVP. If they'll welcome you know what I'm saying? You look at this recent promotion from MVP. Showcase fighters from 14 different countries. They have a whole lot of women over there, but you got fighters from 14 different countries. They got all these titles over there, man, highlighting just how serious the organization is about building a global platform for their fighters. And you know who's not over there? Man, please. Shadasia Green, Baumgardener, Serrano, and the other one, Chantel Caroline Dubois. So many fighters over there. What we doing? And you can't sit here. No one should be questioning how Jake Paul and MVP Promotion and his team are able to secure these deals. You know what I'm saying? Going to be airing fights on ESPN. And they got some shit they locked down over there in the UK. And it's only going to get bigger. It's going to probably end up in the next 5 years be MVP Promotions and Zuffa Boxing. And that may be it. Boys have stars like Serrano, Baumgardener, Shadasia Green, Caroline Dubois, Terri Harper. MVP seems to be creating a structured pipeline for women fighters to grow their brands and global recognition. And they're not just saying, going out there and hot wing it, ladies. No, they're grooming them. They're grooming them. And it's pretty easy. You say, just don't do what Claressa Shields does. Simple. Got it, coach. Yes, sir. Don't underestimate the power of the handicap. handyman virus all up in your ass if you go the Claressa Shields route. And live in color. Because you know what? You can do what you want to do when you're on Win Records, Demetria Salita with Papoose. But you can't do what you want to do with the MVP promotions. You can't do that. Teaching these women how to grow their global brands, their global recognition. Same thing La was trying to do with goddamn Claressa Shields. But she ain't listen. Did she? Nah, she was like, nah. I was like, nah. She, you know, because then she was like, nah. And then what she said, Layla Ali went on the Breakfast Club. Didn't throw no diss or nothing at Claressa Shields. Claressa just heard what she wanted, and she said, I was like, nah. Look at it now. But what's crazy is, with all that drama that come with Claressa Shields and all this great stuff happening for these female fighters on MVP promotions, people still want to see Claressa Shields and Shadasia Green. But my question is, and I'm sure with a lot of boxing fans, the question is going to continue to swirl, is whether that fight will actually happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's important to try to break down MVP's strategy behind women's boxing, because it's working. The importance of promotional alignment for fighters. Putting the fighters first, not your pockets. You know what I'm saying? Putting the fighters first. Then I understand we got a couple big fights coming up. Baumgardener and Baumgardener Shin and Shadasia Green fight Lani Daniels. Lani Daniels just fought Claressa Shields. So the potential mega fight between Green and Shields is something I want to talk about as well, and why branding and professionalism matter in combat sports. It shit matters, period. If you're professional, no matter what you're doing, from the little kid in pre-K all the way up to the CEO of a big company, if you're professional, good things happen for you. So let's try to break it down. The rise of MVP and global platform. Global platforms. How many global platforms are really out there when it comes to boxing where women can benefit? I'll tell you what, there aren't many. Of course, they have different boxing platforms and they have women, but I'm talking about something that's really becoming a global platform that has got the momentum, that's on the move, that's setting the trend. It's MVP Promotions, man. Right now, one of the biggest developments when it comes to boxing, especially women, but all men too. Jake Paul MVP, man, and how they've approached the business side of the sport. You got smart minds over there, people. Instead of simply promoting fights, MVP's focus heavily on building a platform. It's not just about Jake Paul. Jake Paul is trying to get to the point to where he's there, where it's like, I've got to build these women to have their profiles 10 times bigger than mine if I want to be able to sit back and be the businessman that I want to be and have these lovely, talented women fight and dominate and keep growing my platform. Jake Paul has got it right. It's just like me being in the work center. Yeah, I could do all the work. I know everything, but I got all these subordinates underneath me. I got to sit there and teach them everything I know. Hold them accountable, groom them, put them through that on-the-job training, and get them to where they can go out there. I can sign them off as being qualified to do the business. And then I can start to kind of ease back a little bit and just let them go out there. And next thing you know, they're running. They're running. You know what I'm saying? You can just take them off safety. It's like a weapon. Take it off safety, put them on full blast. And let them handle business. And that's what Jake Paul is doing. But you look at Claressa Shields, ain't nobody grooming her. It's the exact opposite. Because there's a difference. Jake Paul is building up his platform and his fighters. Over there at Win Records and Demetria Salita, it just seems, I'm not saying this is the case, like they're building up their pockets. And let me tell you one thing. Say what you want about Claressa Shields, because everyone knows I got an opinion about her. The woman can fight. She's the star. And I'm going to always say that. They're not the stars. Jake Paul knows that his female fighters are the stars. He knows that. Without no them, there's no him. That's why he's treating them the way he's treating them. Look at what's going on there with Papoose. They ain't treating her like the star. They're the star. They want to be all up in the video, all dancing and shit. Got the jewelry on. They need to stop and pay attention to what's going on out there. You know what I'm saying? They got to be a platform that focuses on building stars. That's exactly what Jake Paul and MVP Promotion is doing. You know what I'm saying? Promoters traditionally focus on putting fights together. And platforms focus on building stars. And there's a major difference between a promoter and a platform. And that's why I think you want to look at Demetrius Salita. He's more of just solely a promoter. Win records, I don't know what they do. Okay. They haven't been around that long. Give it about 3 years, then I'll be able to give a more conclusive answer. I don't know what they do. But I know what Jake Paul and his team are doing. They're becoming a platform. And that's the difference. And that matters enormously. Enormously, man. That recent MVP showcase featuring fighters from all 14 different countries, man. Aaron on ESPN sends a very clear message. They're trying to create an international ecosystem for women's boxing. And this approach mirrors what the UFC did years ago in MMA, building recognizable athletes who became marketable beyond the ring. And, I'm going to point that out because, what's his name, Nikisa? Nikisa was in that MMA world, UFC world. He knows. He knows what it takes. That's why you see MVP, they just keep having this, like, I ain't going to say exponential growth, but they're incrementally growing, steadily growing. They haven't stopped. And I think what you're going to see now that they're getting these women up to speed and these women up and running, these women understanding their branding and understanding global appeal, and these women understanding, hey, you have to make the right presence. And now when he gets all them squared away, you're going to see exponential growth. Exponential growth. Because that MVP roster is starting to look like a women's all-star team in boxing. That's what that shit's looking like. All of them women are coming. They're bringing them all along. All of them out there. Trying to keep themselves looking good physically. Not overdoing it with the makeup and wigs and minks and all that bullshit and beaver tails and, the duck goose and whatever the hell they got going on over there. They ain't got all that shit, man. Honey badger skin. They ain't got all that going on over there. And that's why I like it. You got a little bit of makeup, that's cool. They ain't overdoing it. You don't dip them in water and pull them out and be like, who's that? They're going to still look the same. It's like I always say all my lives, I was told, don't ever question the way God made you. You know what I'm saying? He may build you up here, take a little bit away from you over here to balance you out. You can't be someone watching what somebody else have or how somebody look and be like, I wish I had that. Nah, don't question the way the big man made you. Because trust me, you could swap with that person over there, then you get over and say, fuck that. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. And your ass more miserable in their skin than you are in your own skin. So embrace yourself. Love yourself. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with loving yourself. It's okay to be a self-licking lollipop from time to time. It's okay to love yourself. But that MVP roster is starting to look like a women's boxing all-star team. Look at the names currently associated with the MVP's growing influence. Just a few of them. Terri Harper, Dubois, Green, Baumgardener. Goddamn Ronda Rousey's over there now. Amanda Serrano. I mean, these fighters represent different country styles and personalities. You know what I'm saying? That diversity is extremely valuable in sports promotion. When fans from multiple countries can connect to fighters on the card, the audience automatically becomes larger. But MVP is not just out here trying to stack talent. You know what I'm saying? They appear to be shaping fighter branding. Same thing that Layla tried to goddamn tell Claressa Shields about, and Claressa Shields just hasn't figured it out. What happened with that Shadasia, with that Franchon Cruz stuff? What'd she say? She trying to throw the fight. Don't let her throw the fight, y'all. Man, please. She trying to throw the fight. She trying to throw the fight. She trying to throw over here. Y'all know over here. Trying to throw the fight over here. All that drama, all that bullshit, all that papoose, all that nonsense. How's that shaping fighter branding? Somebody, if I'm wrong, tell me something. One thing that stands out with many MVP fighters is the emphasis on media presence and professionalism, which was on full display. Full display. Let me see if I can find this and play it for y'all. Because, I mean, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. When I heard them ladies talking, I said, this is what you want. This is what you want right here. Let me see if I can find this, man. Because it's important. Very important that we talk about it. Oh, shit. Gerald Big Baby Miller just signed the Zuffa. Where is it? Let me see if I have it. I'm going to play it for y'all. Because I was just like, wow. Okay, not that crazy shit. I'm going to play it for y'all. Because I was just like, this is good. Here it is right here. What's the name? Oh, I think I got it over there in my... Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I got it right here. Listen to this. Okay. Let me go. Somebody sent it to me. Where is it at right here? Okay, right here. Let me see some right here. Because it was so on point. I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to hear this this interview. Let me go back up here. Because somebody sent it to me. But I'm going to play it for y'all and then get back to running my big mouth. Because it was so on point. I think everybody should listen to it, man. What's the name? Because it's really gonna. If you haven't seen it, it's going to. Here it is. Okay, not that one. Is it this one? Let me see if it's this one. I think it's they all coming up here. Okay, I think it's this. Let me mute this real quick. There's just so much stuff over here.
Alright guys, kick it off? Yep. Shadasia, first and foremost, I want to congratulate you on becoming world champion last time around in Madison Square Garden. Talk to us about how it feels to be fighting here once again, right? And what you plan on doing moving forward.
It feels great. Madison Square Garden is an amazing place, not too, long from home, and I feel like I'll have the support from my hometown to be sharing.
This is on Fight Hard.
With Bomb, of course, she's very entertaining. I'm really excited to put on a performance.
These 2 weeks ago, Claressa Shields and Franchon Cruz duked it out, in Detroit, Michigan. Nikisa mentioned that he would love for you to fight against Claressa Shields, and he sees you very favorable playing out in that fight. Talk to us, without obviously overlooking your opponent that you have at hand, why you would come out victorious and why you would favor that fight.
Well, to reiterate, never to overlook an opponent. That's a step towards that fight. And I think that skills pay the bills. Claressa Shields is obviously a great fighter, but he's standing across Shadasia Green with 11 KOs, and the threat, it makes for a really good fight.
She's dangerous, is what she's saying.
Alycia, you're one of the biggest personalities in all of boxing. Do you see yourself as being the face of women's boxing?
Baby, I am the face of women's boxing. You said it first. Yes, absolutely. When we think about boxing, we think about boxing as a whole and what I bring. This is entertainment. We want to sell tickets. We want people to be excited to watch women fight. And one thing about Alycia Baumgardner, she sets the stage. I bring the poise, the presence, and baby, we always make it a show.
Speaking about being the face of boxing, MVP has had you in a co-main event. You'll be main event at Madison Square Garden. You fought at Madison Square Garden. You'll be fighting on ESPN. Talk to us about all those things that they have in line for you
Yeah,
as the face of
let's
boxing?
talk about it. 'Cause one thing about it, MVP has done an amazing job when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner. The fact that I fought twice last year on Netflix was big. It was huge. It set the stage. Again, 2026, it continues. Main event here in New York City at the theater. This is where I became undisputed. This is nothing new. You know, this is my second main event fight. And I'm looking forward to having an amazing performance against a tough opponent. This is somebody that I wanted. This is somebody that I chose because she's coming to fight. But baby, I'm bringing the fight. So that's the difference. The bomb is back, been better. Can't wait. Hooks and looks. April 17th, baby. Let's go.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. Those women sound good. They sound professional.
Right now it's time for our own
You can tell that.
White House briefing with the press secretary, Caroline Levitt. Caroline, thanks for being.
Nobody want to hear no White House briefing. But what that does is it tells you that they're being groomed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so important to me, to see that happening, man, with that emphasis on media presence and professionalism. And I think it's important for all fighters to be encouraged to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Present themselves well in interviews, social media, during promotional appearances, especially social media. Social media is a dark-ass place. This is important because companies and broadcasters are far more likely to invest in athletes who are marketable personalities. I've done a couple of videos talking about this. It's not just being a great fighter. And when I watched that today, I said, they got it. That's just what I said. I said, they got it. Jake Paul, his team, they got it, man. They have it. They got it locked down. And I don't know if they've had somebody mentoring them, or they have professionals working on them, the PR team working on those ladies and saying, hey, this is the direction, we need this to go. I don't know. But all I'm telling you is what I'm seeing there from Jake Paul and MVP and those women over there, I'm not seeing nothing remotely close to that with Claressa Shields and her team. It's all bullshit. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's not genuine. She can't be consistent. Trying to tell you that I'm a role model and this, and Papoose, oh yeah, and all the girls love her. You got to see how they love her. I mean, y'all got to change the tune on that shit. Just let us see. Because as far as Clarissa and kids and this, I believe Clarissa has a little spot in her heart. I think she has something in her when it comes to children. I do. Where she can be loving. But I also see her on social media and how she be carrying on and acting like she can be very aggressive and probably not the best person. Anybody who has that kind of aggression, probably not the best person to have children around. You know what I'm saying? So again, they're not like, that's what they're probably saying, the MVP girls. She's not like us. Clarissa quick to say, ain't nobody like me. I'm a bum. They're this, that. They ain't this. They bums. They this. They that. They look horrible in their last fight. Okay. All right. I guess they're not like us, and us are not like they. But I'm sitting here looking at this shit, and I'm telling you right now, there's 2 upcoming fights that are adding momentum surrounding MVP women's boxing push. And I know these fights are gonna far surpass whatever Claressa Shields has done and is doing. But I'm telling you this right now. If they make that Shadasia Green Claressa Shields fight, that fight is going to boom. Not just because of no Claressa Shields, because of the MVP platform of Shadasia Green. Ain't no clown shit, ain't no circus shit, no buffoonery shit with Shadasia. She's strictly business, just like EPMD. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get interesting when we see Baumgardener and Shin. Come on in. You coming in? Okay. And then when you see when Shadasia Green getting it with Lani Daniels. But I'm telling you, Shin's a very, very tough challenger, man. She pushed Dubois. She pushed her a lot in a competitive fight. So that makes the matchup very intriguing, man. Shadasia Green, just the mission for Shadasia Green is simple. Dominate. Seek, destroy. Seek, dominate, destroy. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight that we all want that Claressa Shields fight. That conversation keeps coming up. And maybe because I talk about it so much, you know what I'm saying? But not many people are talking about it how I talk about it. But, I'm going to keep talking about it because I can look and see that shit is there. It's within reach. It's within reach. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say Green versus Shields. I'm not even going to say Shields versus Green. Green versus Shields. And stylistically, the fight makes all the sense in the world. But Green has to have her conditioning on point. I wish she could follow whatever that Claressa Shields is following. For stamina. Whatever she's doing. Green should copy it to the T. And we're going to find some shit out, won't we? Shields brings elite experience. You got to give her credit for that. Incredible confidence. One of the most decorated amateur careers when it comes to boxing. But I'm not so sure that I want to sit here and really big up Claressa Shields, man. I hype her up like people do some of my videos. I ain't really sure I want to hype her up to give her more credit than she deserves. Because that Franchon Cruz fight, the more I look at it, I do think it was a real fight, but also, I gotta be honest, I'm still not understanding Franchon Cruz at the weigh-in and then Franchon Cruz at the fight. And I'm just talking about the appearance. I'm just being honest with you. I didn't know who that's not the same person. That shit did not look like the same person. At all. At all. And I heard some women out here talking about, stress and worry probably led to water retention in addition to the rehydration. And that's probably what you saw her when she put on, it looked like she put on another 30 pounds. And that's something possible. It's possible, Hood. Don't sit here and just think that because you're not a woman, you don't understand female, biology. A woman can put on 30 pounds overnight from stress. I'm like, the fuck? I'm not at all sitting here trying to play goddamn doctor. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to play family medicine guy. But 30 goddamn pounds overnight from stress? Water retention, 30 pounds? I don't know. But hey, y'all tell me something. Because I don't know about that one. I just know Franchon Cruz looked fantastic at the weigh-in. And then that person in the ring, it wasn't the same person. Impossible. The Spanish say imposible. Imposible. I just don't believe that. But the bottom line, when it comes to that fight with Claressa Shields and Green's going to bring that size, strength, and momentum. And from a promotional perspective, it could be probably easily one of the biggest fights in women's boxing. And this could, no kidding, be as close as we'll get to what Layla Ali and Ann Wolfe would have been. But, fans sometimes worry that the fight may not happen soon enough. Not because it isn't exciting, but because boxing politics often, delay major matchups. And I think if it doesn't happen, it's going to be on Claressa Shields' side and her team. Because they're going to sit here and say, nah. What Claressa say? She said, nah. I was like, nah. That's probably what her team going to say, nah. They need Claressa to win. Because one of the most important things, lessons to learn when it comes to boxing history, is that the team around the fighter can shape their career just as much as their talent. The fighter may be incredibly skilled, but if the promotional strategy is weak, their opportunities can shrink dramatically. And if they don't want their fighter to go and fight somebody, the fighter's not going to do it. The rise of MVP highlights how a clear long-term vision can accelerate careers. When a promotion invests in storytelling, global partnerships, and consistent media exposure, fighters benefit from a much larger spotlight, which is what we saw today with Jake Paul, MVP, and all of his ladies. Absolutely amazing. And I'm watching that, right? And I was thinking to myself, man, Claressa Shields messed up. That's what I was thinking. She really, really messed up. Screwed the pooch. She should have been over there on MVP. She should have been out there on this ESPN. She should have fought on Netflix already. Claressa Shields should have been there. I'll just say, a lot of athletes make their choices, deal with the consequences. But you look at a lot of these female boxers choosing to go with MVP promotions, and because they know with that platform can expand their brand beyond just fights. Look, man, boxing's changed over the last decade. It's not me just saying that. It's a fact. Boxing has changed. MVP's taken over women's boxing. She was being left out, or she left. What is it? Winning fights is still very important. Very, very important. But in the modern era, athletes are also brands. Also a brand. Companies, broadcasters, and sponsors want athletes who can represent their product and connect with the audience. You know, what I saw today were women who are looking and behaving in a manner where I'm like, they're connecting with somebody right now. When I watch Claressa Shields, I ain't seeing her connect with nothing except the people down there at the soup kitchen and shit. And ain't nothing wrong. I like soup. But outside of that, she ain't connecting with the right people. So you know what that means? That all fighters today need to understand. They got to balance a few roles. It ain't all about the soup kitchen worker. You got to be a competitor. You got to be a public personality, an ambassador for the sport. If you can't do that, you're in trouble. Promotions that understand this tend to develop fighters into long-term stars rather than short-term attractions. What are they doing with Claressa Shields? What is Jake Paul and his team doing with all of his women? Are they looking to get a couple small wins, pick some low-hanging fruit, some little short-term success, or are they looking long-term? What's MVP doing? So I'm going to just say this. When it comes to the future of women's boxing and the Serranos, the Dubois, the Baumgardners, the Shadasia Greens, and MVP and Jake Paul, and they're taking over women's boxing, that shit is a fact. But the future of women's boxing is still growing. Women's boxing is still growing. Try to compare that with the men's boxing. The depth of elite fighters is smaller. It's not really fair, but I mean, women's boxing is growing. Will it get to where the men are? Hopefully so, but it ain't gonna happen overnight. But what I will say, although that pool of fighters is a lot smaller than the men, I just think because of that, the biggest stars often need to fight each other to keep momentum in the sport. And promotions that build strong rosters and create meaningful matchups will likely shape the next era of women's boxing. Organizations that invest in a few things: global exposure, athlete branding, consistent storytelling, will probably produce the next generation of stars. And when I take a look at what's going on right here, I see a star that's dimmed, and I see other stars that are starting to really illuminate the goddamn sport of women's boxing. And those stars that are really shining bright and illuminating their space, it ain't Claressa Shields at all. It's Shadasia Green. It's the goddamn Baumgardners. It's the Serranos. It's the Dubois. It's the Harpers. And all the other women signed over there. Chantel Cameron. All them other women signed to MVP. Man, please, her champion. There you go again. Say what you want. MVP, taking over women's boxing. They become a platform, and they are building their fighters' brands, turning them into superstars. And one of them looked like they pushing her to become the face of women's boxing. And they can close their eyes and just pick one, but it look like Baumgartner's going to be that one, and then Shadasia going to be that superstar knockout artist. Amanda Serrano already is what she is, and Dubois is on her way. So they're doing it the right way. Man, y'all keep cool. And when it comes to old Papoose, pay attention. Because Clarissa got too much talent to be out here doing all the bullshit that she's doing. Yo, I'm in the breeze.